What's up, guys? It's Poxtops here with Weekend Warriors. Here we are in XCOM 2 War of the Chosen. This is episode 10. I know, right? 10 already. So, in the previous episode, I realized that we made a little bit of a mistake here. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the training center and the proving ground, and I'm going to switch their spots. Reason being is the training center actually doesn't use any engineers, so it should be up there in that top left corner. So I went ahead and just restarted the projects. It sucks, it sets us back a couple of days, but it's really not that big of a deal. So we're going to get a lot of stuff done on the overworld map today. We'll get some scans taken care of, take care of a couple of covert ops, get some research done. We're about 4 days out on completing DOS weapons, so once that's finished up, we'll be able to move on to something else. Be able to get those sniper rifles and mag cannons built for grenadiers and snipers. But we finished up that covert action as well, so we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. We're still not able to do part 2, I believe. Oh no, yeah we are. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and send nothing out on part 2 along with Jamie Watson, and we'll send Helen Taylor as well.
We'll get the job done.
And that will find the stronghold. They'll take care of part 2 of the whole warlock business. I cannot wait to get rid of that guy for good. And actually the weapon he drops is really good for specialists too, so yeah, we get it. Aliens making progress on the Advent project.
Continue to make progress on the Avatar project. If we're going to slow them down, we'll need to move fast.
Right up Central. Okay. Alright, so that finishes up that alien machinery being cleared. That gives us a pretty good amount of supplies too, 237. So we should be able to get some stuff done. And we'll go ahead and start on this next excavation as well, which will give us a exposed power coil. I think I mentioned it in either last episode or episode before, but the exposed power coils, if you build power relays on them, you get bonus power, whereas if you build anything else, the building is essentially free. It doesn't cost you any power. So I haven't necessarily decided whether or not I'm going to build another power relay, or if I'm just going to use those free slots on buildings with high power draw. Regardless, we got the space open for the resistance columns. We can afford to build it. There's just no point right now. I mean, we can make 3 contacts without it, and then with it we'll be able to finish up contacting some other places. But finishing up Gauss weapons gave us a couple of breakthroughs, particularly the laboratory construction breakthrough and the 2 autopsy breakthroughs. Unfortunately, it's not what we necessarily wanted. Prefer to have plated armor. Having plated armor is going to increase the health of our soldiers. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't give them actual armor that we've seen on like mechs and stuff so far, but it does increase their health, which means they can take a few more hits before they die. So now we just got to decide on the weapon upgrades we're going to do. I'd also like to go ahead and build the mine shields we need. We need 6, because then we can just rotate those 6 between all 6 squad members. And honestly, I had, funnily, retrospection here, completely forgot about the squad size upgrade. And I don't think at this point we can actually get it, but even if we could, we couldn't afford it because I've spent every bit of our supplies on weapon upgrades. But it's totally worth it. Doing more damage is definitely worth it. The less time you have incredibly dangerous enemies on the field, the less chance of us actually losing someone. Engineer is very tempting. Very tempting. We do have 129 intel, and honestly we're not really struggling too much on getting intel. But I want to hold off. I wanted to check and see if there was anything that we had, because like sometimes basic items can end up going for a ridiculous supplies cost, but there was nothing in there of interest for us to sell that I was interested in selling anyways. So we'll go ahead and hit this other supplies drop scan. Go ahead and do it, and should complete a bunch of stuff. There's the training center up and running, and what that's going to allow us to do is to allow us to access the skill trees that we've seen so far on like Reapers and Skirmishers. And it also gives us access to Xcom abilities. So like, oh, your squad overall also gains ability points, not just individual soldiers. And those ability points can be spent, any soldier can use them, and they can also, like, for example, if an ability costs 13 and you only have 11 soldier AP, the remaining of what's left of that will be spent from XCOM points. So it's a pretty neat little system. I actually really enjoy it. It creates some different types of builds for each of the classes, considering a lot of the abilities that end up being cross-class abilities. Like you can get things like kill zone on a grenadier. It's very interesting stuff. Very, very interesting. But we did grab a promotion on Nothing, which is our ranger here. So we're gonna go ahead and get that. Honestly, we want both of these abilities, Bladestorm and Implacable, or Implaceable. We'll go ahead and take Implaceable for now. Both of those abilities are really, really good. Getting the free sword slash when someone moves close to you is really, really, really awesome, especially when you've upgraded the swords. I think that does it for in there. Unfortunately, Panda's still out for a few more days. I'd like to get an infirmary built as well. That's going to reduce the time that people are injured for. So, and that'll be incredibly helpful. Especially considering Panda likes getting injured. Well, that's not necessarily true. He's been injured once, but it'll keep things like 14 or 17 days from being a thing. So we went ahead and bought Bladestorm on Nothing. So now he has both of those abilities. So we'll continue this supply scan here. Try to get some more supplies, or we'll get interrupted by the monthly overview. We won't scan supplies. The game says no. And our best friend gained a new ability. Gained an ability called Mechalord. And basically what that means is now not only can he summon zombies, the spectral zombies, not only can he summon like basic Advent troops, but he can also summon mechs. So because we've got high influence with the Reapers, we now have 2 additional slots, and we gain another wild card slot for these cards. So Tithe is another really good one. We're gonna take deep learning and Tithe, live fire training for the last couple of rookies we have that we need to put through the training center, and munitions expert for instant building of special ammo. Unfortunately, we do not currently have a major, so we can't do the last part of the Chosen Warlock. You're seeing a time bender here because I went through a very long period of indecision on trying to figure out what resistance order I was going to do, but we ended up going with one that unlocks new orders. It's actually called new orders, you know. But just want to take a look at the overall map here. Gonna go back to the black market, because every time a supply drops happens, the black market's inventory updates. So let's go take a look at that real quick.
Market is open.
So the supplies, the Elerium crystals, and the alien alloys are all incredibly tempting. We have 104 intel. Ended up just getting the supplies though. We go ahead and take a look at the Avenger here and figure out if there's something we want to upgrade. So I'd like to get the resistance ring upgraded. Actually, getting multiple orders out is good, pretty good.
Power relay upgraded.
I went ahead and upgraded the power relay, and that's not going to let us upgrade the resistance ring, unfortunately. But the upgraded power relay is going to increase our power output, so that is helpful for sure. We just need to get another engineer or a gremlin in to work at that other workstation. So we got a day until the proving grounds are done. We got our supply truck, our supply drop, and the other supply scan we were doing, so let's try to get through both of those.
The proving grounds are ready, Commander.
And there's the proving ground done. So that's pretty good. That means we can build the alien hunter weapons, and the frost bomb. Actually, the frost bomb's really good for crowd control. It does require, they do require a pretty good amount of supplies, but we can go ahead and get the hunter's axe, which is what we end up going with. We end up going with a hunter's axe. So what's interesting about that hunter's axe is it is for rangers, but you can throw it. You can throw it, and also you get the regular melee attack as well. But the fact that you can throw it is really cool. So go ahead and put an engineer in there, and that reduces that timer. It's only going to take 3 days to build that hunter's axe. So the Alien Hunters DLC added in the Alien Rulers, Alien Hunters gear, and I think that's it actually. Alien Rulers and Alien Hunters gear. You can actually make armor out of each of the Alien Rulers you kill. So a lot of those warnings of dangerous enemy detected, those have been for Alien Rulers. So that takes care of the Hunter's Axe. That's good. It's a pretty good weapon. To be in all honesty, we don't need that engineer there right now. We should go ahead and just move him back into removing the exposed power core. We're going to get a lot of materials for doing that, so go back to scanning our supply drop.
I will not allow the existence of any refuge in defiance of the Elders' will.
And that's great. I really cannot wait to get rid of that guy. He is crippling what little bit of an economy that we have.
Even if that means wiping out entire camps of resistance.
And I know it's kind of my fault for keeping us in one spot. Well, only in one area, because we could open up more spots. It's just, I don't want to deal with two chosen at once. I'd prefer to deal with them one at a time. So it's time for us to choose another covert op. Right now, I actually want to try to get Nothing. He's the soldier that we have that is closest to a major, so I want to get him in as many of them as I can. So I've got us doing intel collection. I'm to the point where I'm just over dealing with the warlock in general. I'm just over it. Tired of dealing with him. So we'll go ahead and go back out to the overworld map, and finish up that supply drop. And that does that. That should give us a few supplies. I'm tempted to go to the
Setting course for the Arctic.
Templar hideout to get increased healing, but I decided to scan at the Reapers and grab some intel instead. So we got a couple of ticks of intel before the game decided to remind us about the Avatar project that we have a gigantic bar at the top of the screen about.
We're going to slow them down, we'll need
As
to
I don't think we can forget about that too much.
These findings will likely prove crucial to
we did finish up plated armor though. That is awesome. That opens up the Predator armor for us to build. It also opens up spider suits and exosuits, as well as psionics. We actually got those autopsies, so we're going to go ahead and do those first.
The Advent Stun Lancer was apparently outfitted with the intention of serving as a civilian peacekeeping unit within the city centers. Although they are equipped with weapons capable of administering non-lethal blows, recent reports indicate an increasingly aggressive stance taken by these units.
Alright, awesome. That opened up the Arc Blade and the Ionic Axe, which kind of sucks. Makes me kind of wish I would have built that proving ground sooner.
Specialized Advent unit identified as the Purifier. I have found clear evidence of genetic modification to the subject's thermoregulatory glands. These changes, in conjunction with their specialized armor, give the Purifiers an impressive heat tolerance, bordering on total immunity.
What I was saying before Tygan interrupted me with another cutscene was if I'd got the proving ground sooner, then I could have got some use out of that axe before it's already time to upgrade it. I mean, we can get that upgraded pretty easy, I think. We need to do the faceless autopsy as well so that we can get mimic beacons. But right now, Psionics is inspired. So let's go ahead and do that. That's going to unlock the Psionic soldiers that we can train, which is essentially the base game equivalent of Templars. And there's our next mission, Operation Hidden Prophecy. We get some intel, and it counters a hidden event. So in this one, we're going to go ahead and bring Panda. So it's going to end up being Pox, Panda, Marb, and Callie. Let's build a couple of things real quick. Let's go ahead and build this Predator armor.
The aptly named
Eh.
armor should give our soldiers increased bond
Don't pay too much attention to these appearances. Probably not going to keep them. If you're randomized what their torso and arms look like. Unfortunately, we couldn't afford to upgrade anything else. But Predator armor by itself was worth it. The increased health, in particular, it's going to keep people alive a little longer. So let's go ahead and launch. So like I said, it's going to be Pox, Lightmare, Callie, Marb, and Panda on this one.
Sky Ranger deployed.
In position for deployment.
A hacker working for the Resistance installed a data tap along the Advent network in this area.
Luckily, we don't have to deal with the Warlock on this one. It's we dealt with him in the last mission, so probably got this mission and 2 more before we have to deal with him. Roughly. It's basically a dice roll. So right at the beginning here, there's going to be a little bit of a time jump, just simply because it took us a little bit to actually find the enemies. And the idea behind this mission is for us to defend that data pylon that the Advent are shooting. So I already know that there is at least two mutons and a sectoid, which is unfortunate. Mutons, they're not impossible to kill. They're just hard to kill. The armor and reasonably high health pool make them a little difficult to kill, especially if you don't have upgraded weapons. I think currently all we have is the assault rifles upgraded, but we do have upgraded armor, so that kind of helps a little bit. There's not much that can protect you from a crit, unfortunately. So they spent their entire time of that time bender just shooting the data location. So that muton pod with the two sectoids moved forward. They didn't see Panda, surprisingly. So I go ahead and decide to open up on them with a grenade from Marb. And that shreds the muton's armor and does quite a bit of damage to the sectoids as well. However, it also unfortunately activated the other muton pod, which is just a muton and stun lancer, but so now we have two mutons and a stun lancer that I would very much prefer to get rid of this turn, if at all possible. I decided to go ahead and have Lightmare launch her grenade in here. It'll get some damage off, and it will remove both of their cover. Getting flank shots on both of them is pretty good. It nearly killed that muton as well. So we should have both the muton and the sectoid killed this turn. Not sectoid, stun lancer. I go ahead and take this flank shot with Pox. It's a 100% chance to hit, and he stays concealed, so that works out. He ends up killing the muton. So all that leaves is the other muton and the stun lancer. At this point, I decide that it would probably be a good idea to go ahead and get rid of the muton's cover. So I go ahead and do that with Panda. And now it's Callie. Don't ask me what I was doing there. I have no clue. I go ahead and take the lightning hand shot on the muton. So that puts the muton very much within killing range. If I take this shot with Callie and hit him, it's a guaranteed kill. But for some reason or another, I take the wrong freaking shot. I mean, I did get the sectoid killed. He did kill the sectoid, but that is not who I should have killed in that instance. I actually really meant to hit the muton. And that gives the muton the ability to run forward and melee Panda. And to be entirely honest, I'm really surprised that Stun Lancer didn't melee Panda too. And so Panda got meleeed. The Stun Lancer ran off, which surprised me, and then the sectoid doing this surprised me as well. So now I'm in a situation where... Oh, and on top of that, there's another pod activated. So now I'm in a situation where I definitely need to kill the muton. That sectoid has also got to go so I can get control of Callie back. He is unfortunately mind controlled. And Panda is in a little bit of a precarious situation. So I was looking at Pox's hit chances, and he had a 100% hit chance on that muton. But I wanted to see what other people of the squad's hit chances are. Also considered lobbing a grenade with Marb to get some damage off and hopefully maybe kill the sectoid, but I end up not doing it. Lightmare is also an option. Unfortunately, Panda is disoriented, so he takes a aim penalty. So any of his shots get a pretty big aim penalty on it. So I go ahead and line up this shot here with Fox on that other Muton, get the crit and kill him. Another thing that's really unfortunate is we did activate a pod that has 2 enemies in it that are pretty dangerous. The captain and the soldier are definitely not afraid to shoot their weapons. And unfortunately, Panda is actually in a situation where I really needed him to be able to shoot that sectoid, but the disorient makes it incredibly difficult for him to actually get the shot off. So, looking at Lightmare, I had to make a decision. It's like, do I move forward and take the shot on the sectoid? Do I use teamwork and possibly get a flank shot or a claymore off with Pox? What do I do in this situation? So I really had to think about this because Panda is in real danger of us actually losing Panda. Real danger of that. They have a tendency, like when one of your soldiers are injured, they will definitely, generally, go straight after him. I'm hardcore surprised that that Stun Lancer didn't go after Panda. Hardcore surprised about that. I end up moving Marb over and getting the flank shot on the sectoid. It's unfortunate that it's not a much higher percentage chance, but he ends up getting the kill. So that frees up Callie for us. We end up with Callie back. That's another move we get to take. And pretty sure I end up taking this shot right here. Callie gets him, kills the Stun Lancer. Panda is still disoriented. I considered moving him into full cover. And retrospectively, I should have. Especially considering what's going to happen here in a few minutes. I definitely should have moved him into full cover. I go ahead and I want to make sure this grenade isn't going to hurt Pox. But I go ahead and I line up this grenade on this Advent Captain here. And get a little bit of damage off on him. That puts him pretty close to dying. Panda, like I said, because of the disorient, Panda's a little useless on the shot charts. So I don't take a shot with him and put him in Overwatch. The captain decides to mark Lightmare and then takes a shot and hits her through full cover. And right here. Oh boy. Absolute butthole clincher. I thought for sure that Panda was dead. And that's what I mean. Retrospectively, I should have moved Panda behind that full cover. Though you can't always be sure what the AI is going to do in a situation like this where they have multiple enemies that will definitely take shots. The fact that he hit him from so far away and at the angle he did is a little surprising. To be honest, when he took the shot and I seen that it was a hit, I thought Panda was going to die. But I guess Panda has nerves of steel because he also didn't freak out. A lot of the times, well, sometimes when soldiers get that close to death, they panic. So I go ahead and take the flank shot with Pox and get rid of the captain. That unmarks Lightmare. We're at the point now where we're not necessarily out of the woods. We still have one enemy that is incredibly dangerous. And now, actually thinking about it, the purifier there could actually throw an incendiary grenade. We've been lucky enough not to see that happen just yet. We've also not been too bad about keeping our soldiers from being too clumped, and if they are clumped, it's normally because we're about to finish the pot off. So we've done pretty good in that regard. And go ahead and move Lightmare up. She has a flank shot on the trooper, as well as a shot on the purifier. Callie has a decent percentage shot on the purifier. Panda is still a little bit in a bad spot to get good shots. I go ahead and take this shot with Callie, and unfortunately he misses. If he would have hit that, would have killed him for sure. So I'm at a spot where it's like Panda has this shot, but it's like, okay, just in case I miss, let's go ahead and use the Gremlin heal on himself, and then let's take the shot. That way, if there is another turn, it's not so bad. But he ends up hitting him. He ends up hitting him and getting the kill. And then I have Lightmare finish up that trooper back there, and she crits him. So there's a little hairy there for a minute. And then the game decided to be buggy. If you've noticed, like, Central's been up there in the top right screen the entire time. It's like his dialogue got bugged out. It's unfortunate we ended up with 2 wounded. Panda Man, you are made of nails, apparently. They keep trying, dude. They keep trying. Though, granted, I helped them in the last one by blowing up that purifier as close to you as I did, but dude, that was so close. That was so close to us losing you. Apparently the enemy loves you. They love you, and I'm really bad at commanding people. That is the 2 things that I've learned in this episode. But that finishes up Hidden Prophecy. It wasn't flawless, but it was excellent. We ended up with 2 injured, Lightmare and Panda.
As long as there's even one Reaper.
Panda, unfortunately, is out for 16 days. Lightmare is out for 4. Marb got a promotion, though. So that allows us to go ahead and pick up Demolition on him, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So now both of our main Grenadiers both have Demolition. And I went ahead and formed a bond between Panda and Callie. And we'll go right back in. There you go. There's that picture for you. It's a beautiful picture.
Maybe you can start your modeling career.
Alright, guys. With the ending of that operation, that, for the most part, finishes off this episode. Hang in there, Panda. I'm going to try to keep you with us as long as I can. If you guys liked the video, please drop it a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Take care.